dance for joy or loss.
Welcome to Sensible Secondhand Classics, the show where we look at nostalgic cars that are over 15 years old that you could buy between a budget of £1,000 and £5,000. This is a 1988 Saab 9000 Carlsson, but is it any good? Should you care? Let's find out, shall we? So the Saab 9000 was the product of a four-way tie-up between Fiat, Alfa Romeo, Lancia and Saab in the early 1980s, which resulted in four different cars based on what's known as the Type 4 platform. Unsurprisingly, four different cars. The Lancia Tamer, the Fiat Chroma and the Alfa 164 were the others. And actually this was before Alfa Romeo and Fiat had officially come together. They came together in 1986, and the development of the platform resulted first of all in 1984 with the Chroma. In our market we got the 9000 in 1985, and this one is 1988 special edition. The Carlsson wasn't just a thing with a pretty body kit and some nice alloy wheels, it actually got more power. In this case 204 horsepower from a turbocharged 16 valve H engine. The Saab 9000 had so many different engine options that I'm not going to be able to actually tell you about them whilst I'm driving. I can't possibly remember that much. I'll have to wait until the end to hear about that. But yeah, this one is fast. It's very fast. 0 to 60 in this is something like 7 seconds. The suspension is actually quite firm as well for a car from the 1980s. Power steering is very good in it, but a little steering wheel here that's unique, I think, to the Carlssons is also pretty good. There's actually a boost gauge in front of me, but if I kind of set off, it might sort of start to go round as well, viewers. That sounds like fun, doesn't it? So viewers, you'll have to excuse my parking. I've parked in such a way that nobody will come in front of me. I don't really want someone to come park in front of me whilst I'm showing around the car. That's why I've come so far forward. What a treat to see, you know, a genuine Carlsson like this. It's not cosmetically perfect. We've got little bits of rust around here. We've got scratches and paint's coming off and things like that. Jay's had this car for a long time, a long time. You can actually see we've got the original graphics still on it, which is amazing. There's Eric Carlsson's signature. 9000 is a very practical design actually, but it doesn't actually share that many parts with the Fiat Chroma or the Lancia Tamer. Obviously the 164, it's just the chassis, it's not the bodywork so much. You can't even actually take these doors off and put them on a Lancia or a Fiat or vice versa. They're not interchangeable. Saab doors are heavier. They do feel very substantial actually. You can see we've got all the luxury in here. We've got heated mirrors and electric mirrors and electronic boot release and electric seats and heated seats and all that sort of stuff. Also got an economy range with the rev counter, which is good. I think the Carlsson was only available as a 5-speed manual, though automatics available on some other trims. Strangely for a Saab, the ignition keys actually goes in just here, doesn't go down on the floor, and you don't need to put the car in reverse to take the ignition key out or anything like that. It's a consequence of the Type 4 platform as opposed to the traditional Saabs at this time. Carlsson was, I think, only marketed in this country between 1988 and 1989, and it just says Carlsson. It doesn't even say 9000 anywhere. Got the little tiny high-level brake light, which is lovely. and the 16 valve, because I think the majority of the engines that went into the Saab 9000s were 16 valve, if not all of them. I think these are BBS alloy wheels on the car here, which are original. And then we've got the slightly revised front end, which came in, I think, in about 1987 for the CC model, which this is. Headlamp wiper action, fog lights, and all sorts of things as well. Right, we better get back in, actually, viewers. Actually, no, what we'll do first of all is if I can find the boot switch. Open the boot. There we go. See if that actually worked. It did. There we go. Oh, it's quite heavy. Jay really likes big practical hatchback cars. He's also got a Skoda Octavia VRS that I've just filmed on Sensible Secondhand Classics, because he can fit all his stuff in. Look at all the stuff that he needs for his job and everything like that in here. Huge boot. I'd say at least 400 litres in this. The only thing I would be annoyed about, actually, if this were my car, was that we don't seem to have any way of attaching the parcel shelf to the tailgate anymore. I think that's broken off a long time ago. But yeah, we've got some nice big speakers in there, 1980s style. I think the exhaust actually is standard on this, which is remarkable. Really weird thing is the wiper assembly is just kind of like there, which is unusual. Let's get in the back, shall we? No, let's not go in that way. Let's try the other door. There we go, that's better. Right, luxury interior. Yeah, that's why that was not working, viewers. Also, the headlining is missing at the moment. This car is awaiting just some improvements. We've got big door pockets. Interesting electric mirror switch, electric window switch. That is other orientation from normal. Then door open warning light, of course. Very heavy doors for a 1980s car. But you can tell this car was designed in a certain decade, just the way that it looks on the interior. The facelift that occurred for the CS model, that was renamed CC, occurred around 1991, I think it was. And that had a bit of a different dash in it. Ashtray back there. Ooh. That's stiff, isn't it? I've never seen this before, like a multi-level map pocket arrangement. We do have a nice big armrest. Gosh, that's enormous, isn't it? Absolutely vast armrest. Stereo is taken out because apparently Jay doesn't use it. Well, and the seat actually moves. Well, my gosh, it's really clever, isn't it? It actually moves. You don't want to be on a middle passenger though, because look at this. You really get a sort of literally a bum deal if you sit there. That's not going to be very nice. I think two outer seats would be better, but yeah, legroom is really good if the seat doesn't keep moving. Legroom is really good. Headroom is okay. There's actually a little cutout at the back here with a headliner, so you can put your head there. So not too bad. Definitely a practical car for the family. Let's take a look at this dash a bit more now. Saab typically probably insisted that they had their own dash in this car, but it was completely different from the Fiat and the Lancia. And you can see that it is. Yep, lots of little bits that look a bit like a Saab 900. No surprise, really. Come on, autofocus. There we go. So yeah, radio's out at the moment. The dashboard has a big hole in it where the glove box should be as well. That's sort of come out. Also got the Saab electronic display control that I think came in a couple of years before this car was made. So we can cycle through various things, which we'll do in a second. Got cruise control, a weird immobiliser thing there. And that is the rear washer. Further down there's the ashtray. Also there's a massive compartment just here. Look at the size of that and all sorts of bits you can put in there. 4 electric windows in here. Electric sunroof controllers there. Also got these warning lights. That one is definitely working. door bins are a bit odd. Electric mirror switch is a bit odd too. Fog lamps, headlamp switch, I think that's the same as in a 900. And then this unique steering wheel to the Carlsson, which looks absolutely amazing. I imagine this steering wheel is worth something these days. 5-speed man, it's quite a heavy shifter, and also the clutch is really heavy in this. Jay did warn me before I took it out, but it would be a bit like that. But that is absolutely fine. And yeah, there is the turbo gauge. So look under the bonnet, shall we? Look at this view. Saab H engine, in this case developing 204 horsepower and 2 litres in capacity. All Saab 9000s either use a 2 litre or 2.3 H engine, or they use a 3 litre V6, but those are quite rare. H engine dates back to the Triumph Slot 4 engine from the late 1960s when it was being designed by Saab, who first used it in the 99. Went through a couple of iterations to get to being the H engine. Direct ignition, 16 valves, big turbo. Amazing. But underneath, yeah, same as an Alpha 164 Chroma or a Tamer. As far as I remember, these are actually chain driven as well, which is good. Certainly loads of things to check in here, aren't there? There's one of the engine mounts that's been replaced, hasn't it? Right, let's go and have some more turbo action and go for another drive. Lloyd Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below. So we're just waiting at some lights here. One of the things about this car is not only does the seat not go down quite far enough for me, because I don't think it works properly, but the clutch is really heavy in this car. You've got to actually properly be aware in this car, otherwise you'll stall it or something like that. Boost. It's a bit of a shame that actually I can't really drive this car for very long today. I'm just not really in the right area. It has some big open roads in it, so I'm sort of confined to driving around this little area of Bristol, but I'm still having a lot of fun. This is just an amazing car. I really want to drive sort of one of the later ones. Facelifts were very, very strange with this car. The CD model came out actually in about 1987, but the car wasn't facelifted to sort of match that until about 1991, and then the main facelift, which transformed this CC model, the hatchback one, to CS, occurred I think about 1992, so that like CD front end was only on this car for a short time, and the CD itself didn't get that new front end that the CS got until about 1993, so like when the facelifts were, it was really, really confusing. I just don't know why Saab, they had models that overlapped a lot in the 1980s, and they were bought by GM about 1988-89 I think, and then they got some more engines like that V6 from Isuzu, and also a 2.3 was developed for them, but it just never lost this really sort of bizarre character where they just kind of went their own way and did their own thing, and of course they're not around anymore, which is really sad. But I'm really excited to have actually had a go in this, because it is an amazing car. So the Saab 9000 had an extraordinary number of different engines. They were all based on the 2 litre 2.3 and 3 litre V6 Saab and General Motors units, but the number of power outputs is truly extraordinary. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this since doing the Peugeot 205. There was a 2 litre non-turbo of 130 horsepower. There was another 2 litre non-turbo 138 horsepower. There was a 2 litre light pressure turbo, also known as an eco power, with 150 horsepower. There was a 16-valve turbo, 165 horsepower. The original turbo, when it came out in 1985, was 175 horsepower. This 2-litre is the most powerful one of this size, with 204 horsepower in the Carlsson. Then a 2.3, which came along a little bit later. Basic engines, 150 horsepower, non-turbo. The light pressure turbo or eco power version of that was 170 horsepower. The 2.3 turbo 16-valve was 200 horsepower. Also, there was a 205 brake horsepower version of that engine. The Aero was 225 horsepower. The 2.3 Carlsson, that was when the facelifted cars, is actually a little bit less than that. It was 220 horsepower. And then the 3-litre V6 was 210 horsepower. The trim levels are always sort of preceded with the earliest CC models that ran from 85 to 91, the original hatchback design like this, normally with like an injection or something like that, or turbo. The later ones, the CS, that was the hatchback version, when there was the CD, that one would have said like so CD or CDE or something. But so S, XS, Carlsson, Aero, Turbo, Turbo SE, Turbo S, Turbo 16, and then there was some which you just called the CS and the CSE. So viewers, should you consider a Saab 9000 as a sensible, practical classic for between £1,000 and £5,000? Well, this Carlsson, although this does need sort of finishing off and things like that, you just can't find these. They're just not around. I'm immensely privileged to have driven one of these, actually. Normal 9000s, they start at about £2,000. I think, actually, the facelifted ones are a little bit easier to get hold of than the pre-facelift ones. But, yeah, something like, a Volvo 850 sort of reminds me of one of these very, very much. Although the Saab came out about 7 years beforehand. It just has the same sort of character. They run in parallel to about 1998, so there are some kind of things in common. Front wheel drive, interesting engine, and based on a platform that spawned other derivatives. Or in this case, just like everything else Saab, it's quite a unique car. Anyway, thank you ever so much once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like this video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again very soon for more reasonably priced nostalgic motoring.
1, 2, 3, 4. Every blue day, every day with blue skies.